You walked into Kmart, a camera mapped your face, you never agreed to it, and it was illegal. And that's the least of what Kmart got caught doing this year. Number 15. The store you trust the most did the thing nobody saw coming. Kmart isn't just any shop in Australia. It's where a family on a budget still walks out with bags full. The Anko homewares, the famous Kmart hauls, the cheap toys, the $20 air fryer. Surveys put Kmart among the most trusted retail names in the country, ahead of Coles and Woolworth. And that trust is the whole point, because behind that friendly red sign, in under a year, Kmart has been hit with 3 separate legal problems. A privacy breach the regulator has already ruled on, a forced labour lawsuit in the federal court, and a wage theft class action from its own managers. We're going through all 3, and we start with the one about your actual body. Stick with me. Number 14. They were scanning your face the second you walked in. Between June 2020 and July 2022, Kmart ran facial recognition technology in 28 of its stores. Here's what that actually means. As you walked through the door, a camera captured your face. If you went to the returns counter, it captured you again. The system turned your face into a face print, a unique biometric map of you, and checked it against a database. Every single person who entered got scanned. Not the shoplifters, not the suspects, everyone. Mums, kids, pensioners, you. And almost nobody knew, but it's how deep it went that's the real shock. Number 13. How far the face scanning actually reached. This wasn't one rogue store. Those 28 stores were spread across almost every state and territory in the country. The system captured 5 to 6 facial images of each person as they entered or approached returns. One store reportedly ran it for around 2 years straight. And here's the detail that gets most people. At the returns counter, your face was checked not just against known offenders, it was matched against a database of everyone who had entered, and even against people flagged at other stores. You didn't have to do anything wrong to be in it, you just had to walk in. And that's exactly what caught the regulator's attention. Number 12. Australia's privacy watchdog ruled Kmart broke the law. In September 2025, the Privacy Commissioner Carly Kind published a formal determination. Kmart breached the Privacy Act. The reason is simple. Your face, your biometric data, is classed as sensitive information under Australian law with the highest level of protection. To collect it, a company needs your consent. The Commissioner found Kmart didn't get that consent and didn't properly tell shoppers it was happening. She called the collection indiscriminate. The sensitive information of every individual who entered was swept up. Tens of thousands of ordinary people, suspected of nothing. And then came the excuse. Number 11. The "we're just stopping fraud" excuse the regulator rejected. Kmart's defense was that the tech was there to fight refund fraud, people scamming the returns counter. On paper, stopping fraud is fair enough, but the Commissioner said it didn't come close to justifying this. She found the system was of limited utility. The value of the fraud was tiny next to the size of Kmart's business. She found less intrusive options were sitting right there, like moving the returns counter or using electronic tags. And she found scanning tens of thousands of innocent shoppers to maybe catch a few was a disproportionate interference with privacy. In plain English, the watchdog said the fix was worse than the problem. And here's why this cuts deeper than a normal data slip-up. Number 10. Why your face print is different from every other kind of data. Think about it. If a shop leaks your password, you change your password. If your card gets stolen, the bank cancels it and sends a new one. But your face? You get one. You can't reset it. You can't cancel it. A face print is you, permanently. That's the exact reason the law treats biometric data as sensitive and demands consent first. Kmart was ordered to stop and to publish a public apology and an explanation on its own website homepage. A retailer apologizing to the nation for scanning faces. But before we move off this, Kmart does have a side to it, and it's worth hearing. Number 9. Kmart's defense, and the part that complicates it. This stays in the video because it's fair. Kmart said it was disappointed with the ruling and signaled it was reviewing its options to appeal. And it pointed to a real problem. It said refund-related threatening incidents against staff jumped by 85% in less than a year. In other words, the people behind that returns counter are getting abused, and Kmart says the technology was about protecting them. That's a genuine tension. Staff safety on one side, shopper privacy on the other. But the watchdog's answer was clear. Safety is a legitimate goal, but it doesn't cancel your right to consent. You can protect staff without secretly scanning every customer, and that's just the first of the 3. The next one is about who made the things in your trolley. Number 8. The forced labour lawsuit hanging over the clothes rack. In August 2025, an Australian Uyghur group, the Australian Uyghur Tangritag Women's Association, took Kmart to the federal court, represented by Maurice, Blackburn and the Human Rights Law Centre. And I'm going to be precise because this one is an allegation being tested in court, not a proven finding. The lawsuit alleges that 2 suppliers on Kmart's own 2024 and 2025 factory lists have links to the Xinjiang region of China, a region where forced labour of Uyghur people is so well documented that UN experts have raised concerns it may amount to crimes against humanity. The group wants the court to force Kmart to hand over documents. But to understand why clothes specifically, you need one fact. Number 7, the Xinjiang cotton problem almost nobody talks about. Here's the fact that makes this bigger than 2 suppliers. Around 85% of China's cotton is grown in the Xinjiang region, the same region at the center of the forced labor allegations. Human rights groups have been warning about that link in the garment industry for years, so when a retailer sells huge volumes of cheap clothing and homewares, the risk isn't some obscure edge case. It runs right through the most basic material in the store. That's why campaigners zero in on fashion, and it's why the next part, what Kmart actually promises you, matters so much. Number 6, the gap between ethical and the allegation. Kmart markets itself as an ethical business. It points to a 15-year ethical sourcing program. It was, to its credit, the first Australian retailer to publish its full factory list online, and it references United Nations human rights standards. That's the promise. The lawsuit's argument is that if suppliers really are linked to forced labour, then those ethical claims could be misleading or deceptive under Australian consumer law. Now, in fairness, Kmart denies wrongdoing. It says it was disappointed the group went to court after more than a year of talks, and that it runs one of the most rigorous sourcing programs in the country. The case is ongoing and nothing is proven. But there's a reason this can even happen here. Number 5, why Australia lets this reach the shelf. Here's what surprises people. The United States, Canada, and the European Union all ban imported goods made with forced labour. Australia doesn't. Australia's approach is transparency. It asks companies to report each year on how they manage modern slavery risks and largely trust them to police themselves. That's why this lawsuit is the first of its kind. Ordinary members of the public having to drag a retailer into court just to force it to prove its own claims. Whatever happens to Kmart specifically, that gap in the law affects every single thing you buy. And the third case doesn't involve China at all. It involves the person in the Kmart uniform. Number 4, the wage theft class action from Kmart's own managers. In early April 2026, the law firm Adero Law filed a class action in the federal court, alleging systemic underpayment of Kmart's salaried store managers going back 6 years. It's estimated to cover between 5,000 and 6,000 current and former managers. The claim alleges they were routinely made to work well beyond their rostered hours, with no overtime, no penalty rates, and no allowances, working through meal breaks, before and after shifts, taking admin home, and in busy periods pushing towards 60 hours a week for no extra pay. The lead plaintiff is a former store operations manager named Jordana Williamson. Again, allegations not proven. Kmart says it takes the matter very seriously, that it's committed to paying its team correctly, and that it can't comment in detail while it's before the court. So that's 3, and there's a 4th thing changing in every store you walk into. Number 3, the quieter change in every aisle. Step out of the courtroom for a second and look around the store itself. Across Australian retail, and Kmart is part of this, there's been a steady rollout of anti-theft gates at entrances, locked cabinets on everyday products, and more cameras than ever. Kmart even reversed a store layout after a flurry of shopper complaints. None of it is illegal, but stack it on top of the face scanning and a picture forms. The friendly, cheap brand increasingly runs on systems that quietly treat every shopper as a suspect. You feel it without being able to name it. And once you line all of that up, the pattern is impossible to miss. Number 2, 3 cases, 12 months, 1 pattern. Look at what we just covered. In under a year, a privacy breach the regulator has ruled on, a forced labour lawsuit in the federal court, and a wage theft class action from its own staff. Your face, the people who made your clothes, and the people who served you, 3 different groups, 1 store. And the honest thread tying it together is this: a low price always has costs. The only question is whether they show up on your receipt or somewhere you can't see. But I'm not here to tell you Kmart is uniquely evil, because that's not true. Bunnings got hit with almost the identical facial recognition ruling. Coles and Woolworths are fighting their own court cases right now. The whole sector is under the microscope. So the real question is, number 1, what do you do about it? Number 1, what every Kmart shopper should do now. This is the part that protects you, so don't skip it. First, your face. Facial recognition is legal in Australia when it's done right. It's used in airports. So in any big store, glance for the conditions of entry sign near the door. That's where surveillance is meant to be disclosed. You're allowed to ask a store what tech they use. And if you think your privacy's been breached, you can complain to the privacy watchdog, the OAIC, for free. Second, the products. Treat the word ethical on any brand as a claim, not a guarantee. You can look up any big company's modern slavery statement. They're public. Third, your pay. If you work retail, know your award. Overtime, penalty rates and allowances are law, not favors. Class actions like this only exist because someone spoke up. And one honest note before you go. None of these 3 are case closed. The facial recognition ruling is a finding, and Kmart has signaled it may appeal. The forced labour and wage theft cases are allegations still to be tested. So this isn't me telling you to boycott Kmart. Plenty of good people work there, and you'll probably still shop there. It's me telling you to walk in with your eyes open instead of shut. So do me a favour. If even one of these 15 was new to you, give this video a like so more Aussies see it, and hit subscribe. And tell me down in the comments, Right. Did you shop at one of those 28 stores and did you have the faintest idea your face was being scanned? I read every single one. See you in the next one.